Hey everybody, this is Brian Troe. I'm coming to you today from Mossy Creek Fly Fishing with your fly fishing forecast. So, sorry I didn't get to you all on Monday. Like a lot of you, I was away for the holidays and getting to spend time with family, and hopefully you all are able to do the same as well. And hopefully, in addition to that, you're able to sneak out and get a little bit of time in the water. So, we're going to talk a little bit today about where to fish and the conditions that are coming up. So since I spoke to you all last, we had a pretty high water event, had snow melt in addition to rain. That's kind of balanced out now. Unfortunately, we've got another system kind of approaching us this evening. So tonight, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, they're calling for ice, they're calling for rain. It's gonna get nasty. They're saying up to 2 or 3/10 of an inch, especially if you go up higher elevations. So just be aware of that. If you've got plans to go fishing anywhere around the Shenandoah Valley tomorrow on New Year's Day, the forecast is just getting grosser and grosser. So, and then of course, if we end up getting a lot of rain, that can make things tough for the upcoming weekend. So be sure to call, check in with up to date. We won't be here tomorrow on New Year's Day, but we'll be back here early on Saturday. So if you've got concerns or need some up-to-the-date information, as always, call or email the shop or stop by and come see us. Anyway, so that's going to affect the fishing for the next week. Colder conditions, icy conditions, higher water. So you know the drill. Look for spring creeks, fish deep, fish slow. Mix it up between streamers and heavy-weighted nymphs. Your chances for catching fish on the surface are poor. I wanted to talk to you all a little bit today about brook trout fishing. So we have a lot of folks that ask this question. It comes up every single year. And this year it seems like there's so many newer folks in our sport, which is great, that a lot of folks just want to know what the ethics, what the right thing to do is when it comes to brook trout fishing. So here's the deal. We always say, no matter what, leave them alone when they're on their reds and they're nesting. But the risk to a brook trout and to those fry and to the young fish that have hatched is they lack mobility, they lack the ability to evade you if you go trampling through the pools. And some folks, if you talk to them, they'll say wait until March. Some folks say you can fish for them right after they spawn. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're just going to give you some information and you can use it how you'd like. Clearly the brook trout are done spawning and have been for a long time now. So you don't have to worry about that part of the process. If you'd like to go brook trout fishing, and I can tell you over the last week or two, with people having vacation, a lot of folks have been brook trout fishing. You really want to try to avoid wading, or at least wading in the types of waters in which you would potentially trample or hurt or wreck nests. Okay, so not all brook trout streams in Virginia lend themselves very well to that because of just the lay of the land and the nature of them. A lot of places you really kind of need to get in, but certainly there's plenty of places where you don't ever set foot in the creek. You're dapping, you're reaching, you're making small little casts. So if you want to go and enjoy some of the brook trout fishing to be done in the winter, it's tougher, but it can be very rewarding. You're not going to catch the numbers like you do in the spring. However, it's a small organism. They have to eat. They can't just hibernate like a bear. So pick your warmer days, pick the warmer hours of the warmer days, fish slow, grit out the water, stay out of the pool, and you're not going to really affect the future generations of brook trout that hopefully we have growing up here this spring. So anyway, that's just a little bit on brook trout because we've just had a lot of folks asking about it. And just like anything else, with ice up in the mountains or snow melt, the colder water days are going to be challenging. Grid the water out, heavier flies. I pick size of nymph based on water flow. A lot of people say, what's the best size nymph? Well, certainly the natural size of a lot of our mayfly nymphs this time of year are smaller, but if the water's big and turbulent and off color and you need weight to get down and you're trying to catch the attention of a fish that can't quite see you very well, going with a bigger fly is really the better bet. So I pick, especially for brook trout fishing, I pick the size of my nymph based on water flow. When the water's big and it's harder to get down, you fish a bigger fly. Okay, so size 14s, size 12s, instead of size 16s and size 18s. We start getting droughty conditions, you'll flip that, all right? So Streamers have been good. Dead drifting, fishing them slow, not making the fish work too hard. The spring creeks, same gig as before. Warmer hours of the day, been producing more fish. If you've got 5 or 6 days off and you see an overcast or a drizzly day coming, places like Mossy Creek fish really well in those conditions. You're also gonna have less crowds. It's been pretty busy at some of our spring creeks just because it's been a holiday. People are trying to get out, they're trying to escape their in-laws in some cases, and they're trying to find time on the water. And so you know, it can get a little bit busier, but you know, the fair weather fishermen don't like to go out on days where it's spitting rain and drizzling and overcast. Those are the money days on places like Mossy Creek. So I saw that the state stocked a little bit, but with the holidays, they haven't been out too much. One of the few put and take streams that are managed where the state puts fish in and you're allowed to go and catch them right away. One of the few ones that I like to fish and that we kind of recommend as a place to go and do well is the bull pasture, okay? Some of these put and take streams are tiny in nature. They throw fish in after the first 5, 6, 7 days. They pretty much all get caught out. It's kind of not worth your time going. But the bull pasture is a large stream, a large river. They put a ton of fish in there. The fish get spread out very well. So it's certainly the place to go. Even though they haven't maybe stocked it in weeks or even a month, you can almost always find trout in the bull pasture. So that got stocked last week. Spring run, which is catch and release, did as well. Those aren't bad options. Spring run, especially if we get high water. It's a cool little place to go. And then all of our delayed harvests that we've talked about earlier, Back Creek delayed harvest, North River delayed harvest. These places are fishing quite well. And just watch for big bumps in the water flow. So you got some good put and take water, you've got some good catch and release water, delayed harvest water, and then of course if you want to be rugged and fish for brook trout in the winter, you've got plenty of options there too. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. And I really wish everybody a wonderful and awesome new year. We plan on continuing to do these going into the winter and into the spring. And so I hope to see you all here in 2021 and plan some great fishing trips. You know, good piece of advice. Fishing books up quick here through Mossy Creek fly fishing. But if you wanted to book any day of the year coming up in 2021, if you get your calendar out in the next 2 weeks, you're probably going to get your date. Call us right before and you're not going to get it. So anyway, hope you all well.